Hello and welcome to Vlogmas Voyages 2025. We are on the letter A to start with, and we will be beginning this voyage in Paris, specifically at the Arc de Triomphe. And the letter A was really one of the letters that I had the most difficult time deciding what I wanted to use because I have been to so many really great places that begin with the letter A. But my decision was essentially made for me when I decided that I wasn't going to use the Eiffel Tower for the letter E, which to some of you might be surprising. The Eiffel Tower is really my very favorite place in the whole world. However, as I mentioned in my intro video, I wanted to do some more non-obvious places, and the Eiffel Tower is clearly obvious. The Arc de Triomphe kind of is too, but less so than the Eiffel Tower. And when I eliminated the Eiffel Tower, I didn't have anywhere in Paris. And again, as I mentioned in my previous video, I wanted to include as many countries as I have been to as I can. So that settled me on the Arc de Triomphe. But it really is one of my favorite places in Paris. So a little bit about the Arc de Triomphe. It was ordered by Napoleon to be built to celebrate victories in the Napoleonic Wars, and he specifically wanted a triumphal arch because it was the gateway to the city of Paris. So it was built between 1806 and 1836. The Arc de Triomphe is located in the middle of a giant roundabout where it doesn't seem like there are any traffic rules. So you definitely do not want to cross the roundabout on foot on above ground. There are pedestrian walkways underneath that will safely take you there. So don't try to dodge the crazy traffic because you're likely to get hurt. Another piece of advice about the Arc de Triomphe is if you're interested in walking along the Champs-Élysées, I would start at the Arc de Triomphe and then you're walking downhill from there. If you start at the other end, you'll be walking uphill, which there's some advantage to because then you can see the Arc de Triomphe coming, but it's a lot more pleasant to walk downhill, especially if you are there in the heat of summer. So that is my advice. After you go through the safe underpass to get to the center of the Arc de Triomphe, one of the first things you'll see is the Eternal Flame, which is a Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers that is in remembrance of people who died in World War I. And then you can look up to just the beautiful sculptures that make up the Arc de Triomphe. It's really a look up and around kind of place that is a great view from the center before you go up to the top, which I highly recommend that you do. One of the reasons I really like the Arc de Triomphe has to do with the view from the top. So a lot of people don't always know that you can go to the top. It's not that high, obviously compared to the Eiffel Tower in particular, but it is high enough that you do get a pretty decent view of the area surrounding the Arc de Triomphe. But the thing that I like best about that view is that you can see the Eiffel Tower from that view. One of the reasons I have never gone up the Eiffel Tower, even though I am sure that is a breathtaking view from as high as you can go, I want my views of Paris to include the Eiffel Tower in them. And when you are in the Eiffel Tower, that's not going to be part of your picture, except if you're taking like close-ups of the structure itself. So from the top of the Arc de Triomphe, you get a really great 360-degree view of Paris that does include the Eiffel Tower. In fact, if you go to the Arc de Triomph's website, which I will link below, they have a really great 360-degree view on the website that you can move around and see what you want to see. I have a picture of that I'll put up here from that website. I personally think that view is better. Sometimes being up high isn't the best view, and I think this is one of those situations. So if you are going to Paris next, I highly suggest that you visit the Arc de Triomphe. Where have you been that begins with a letter A? I'll just tell you the other things that I was looking at for the letter A were Auschwitz, the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg, South Africa, the Anne Frank House, and the Alhambra in Spain. I think those are the main things I was thinking through with the letter A, But again, as you see, I settled on the Arc de Triomphe. So, and Paris is my very favorite city. So I highly encourage you to go there and see that and the Eiffel Tower the next opportunity you get. So join me tomorrow to see where this voyage takes us, where we will focus on the letter B. And it's in a very different part of the world from where we are today in France. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.